Tommaso with WTF Health. I'm here at the Barcelona Health Hub, and joining me right now, I have Francesca Wuttke, and she is the Chief Digital Officer at Almirall. So it's good to have you here.
Thank you, Jessica.
I feel like I've waited a long time to interview you. Yeah, it's been a while.
We've been trying to get this to happen for a while.
I love it. All right, so before we get started, you're new in your role. You're the first ever Chief Digital Officer at Almirall, but I want you to set up for everybody who's watching who may not be familiar with Almirall. What is that company? What do you guys do?
Yeah, so it's a Spanish-based specialty pharma company. We're mostly focused on dermatology, although we have a lot of products in other areas as well, but our strategic focus is certainly dermatology. We have a presence all around the world and offices in the US and in many of the European countries, and then affiliates.
Okay, so what is this new role they've created for you? They're like, we must have you. And so Chief Digital Officer, what are you going to be doing?
Yeah, well, the mandate's quite broad, and it's actually, for me, very exciting. It's really the end-to-end digital transformation of the whole company. So things like back office process automation, creating the data architecture and infrastructure to allow for future advanced analytics platforms, obviously helping with our near-term launches from a commercial perspective, providing solutions and services that can help support patients, that we can help gather more information and more data from those patients. And as I mentioned, our advanced analytics platforms, which will help us as well for real-world data, real-world evidence, and we're actually doing some pretty exciting things and looking to expand and even into areas like digital therapeutics.
Okay, so how is your company on digital therapeutics? I mean, if you're the one who's kind of like forging the way ahead here, I mean, this is a great time to jump into the fray. And I know you're no stranger to it based on your previous roles, but I mean, so give me a sense of what Almirall is thinking as far as digital therapeutics are concerned.
Yeah, from my perspective, I'm really proud and humbled that this is a conversation that we're having so soon after the digital office was formed in February. So there are a couple of programs. Well, there's one program with one product with two different programs that we're looking to potentially utilize a voice automated based cognitive behavioral therapy system to augment the product that we have. And it's in the very early stages, so we can't say a tremendous amount about it, but we're certainly planning for different phases to eventually have a reimbursed and an FDA or an EMA approved digital therapeutic.
Ooh, we love that. And are you working with an outside startup on that, or is this something that got generated inside?
It started inside. We're having conversations with Google and others for the voice activation piece, and then we're looking to bring some startups in to help us kind of assimilate and integrate all of the technology that we're going to be deploying.
And so this bringing in startups is not anything that's unusual for you right now. So I understand that you've got some challenges that are launching, or an accelerator program that's launching. So tell us more about that.
Sure. So we're actually announcing it today at the Barcelona Health Hub, at the Health Hub Summit. We're going to be launching the Digital Garden, powered by Almirall, which is
Digital Garden. Oh my God, I like this branding.
We're helping to grow the startups and to nurture them along the way. And the idea is that we put out the call for innovation today. The website will be live, and startups can apply for a spot in our accelerator. We're going to be shortlisting 10, inviting those 10 to Frontiers Health, and then from that cohort we'll choose 5, and we'll start in January. So they're going to be, we have 2 verticals that we're most interested in: patient-centric digital solutions and platforms and approaches, and also data analytics.
Okay, now do these have to be specific to those disease areas that you mentioned? Like, are you looking for something that's already launched in terms of supporting a dermatology diagnosis, like acne or things like that? Or are you looking for things outside that can easily be adapted in?
I think both is the short answer. They have to be able to at least have an impact on dermatology. So if, for example, it's a diabetes app that only tracks diabetes, then that would be excluded. But certainly if it is already in dermatology or could be modified to serve a dermatological population, then that would be ideal.
Now, you guys are based here in Spain. Are you looking for solutions that are coming out of companies that are also here in Spain or in Europe, or are you launching this internationally?
We're launching it globally, but the startups would have to be based here in Barcelona for the duration of the acceleration period, which starts in January and is 9 to 12 months, so about a year.
How awful to spend 9 months here in Barcelona in office space like this.
Exactly, and in the Barcelona Health Hub,
which it's just terrible, as you can see out the window behind us.
Yeah, it's a beautiful space. You have access to an amazing city. Barcelona was just ranked third in Europe as a digital health and innovator specifically. So there's an area of a lot of activity. There's a lot of venture capital funding, and every day it's growing. So our goal is to graduate the startups into venture capital funding, utilizing the network of myself and of the whole team. So the startups have to be based here. They don't have to be Spanish, but they do have to have the ability to live and work in Spain for a year.
All right, I'd like you to put your Barcelona Health Hub ambassador hat on for a second. And I want to pick up on something, you segued this beautifully for me, about Barcelona being kind of identified as like the third city here in Europe for being a hotspot in terms of digital health. What do you think it is about Barcelona? I mean, you mentioned like there's easy access to investment. Can you talk a little bit about, paint a picture for those who may not have done a lot of business here in Barcelona about what's really here? I mean, it is kind of a hidden gem.
It is, and I'm surprised that so few people know about it. And in my prior role, I was an investor and living and working here, even though I was leading European investments. Not a lot of people think of Barcelona when they think about digital health innovation and venture capital. And I think it stems from the really strong history of innovation in the health sciences, in biotech, in pharma, in medtech. Over the years, that's transitioned to innovation in digital health and also in data analytics. So there's a lot here, and I would say the companies that I've met here that are from here and based here are really scrappy in the best way possible. They do a lot with very, very little, and they've had enormous reach. And a lot of them have been highlighted today at the Barcelona Health Hub Summit. So it really is a truly innovative place. I think it's the kind of place, particularly the Barcelona Health Hub, where lessons can be shared from one startup to another. There's also a lot of corporate involvement, a lot of involvement from health insurance companies. So it's actually kind of ripe for growth, and it's why we chose the Barcelona Health Hub as our site for the Digital Garden, our accelerator.
I love this Digital Garden. It's so cute. And I mean, truly, it's about time for this hub, right? It almost seems like this was a much needed anchor in this Barcelona ecosystem, or even in Europe as well. Because I mean, there are anchors in other spots in Helsinki and in Berlin, but there's it was missing, and it was much needed.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of a tech anchor on the fintech side, on the telecommunications and mobile side in Barcelona. But this is the digital health anchor. And I think apart from the spectacular space, the groups that they've brought together and the passion with which this hub has been formed, I think is really impressive.
Are you seeing those healthcare companies or even the startups leveraging that talent, that tech talent from the mobile and from the fintech world? Because that's interesting, right? I mean, that's unusual for this side of the Atlantic.
I think I'm seeing more and more technologists versus healthcare professionals, which is, I think, a great transition. One of the I wouldn't say problems, but the learnings that they have to do is understanding how to work with their stakeholders, which are largely pharma or health systems. So that's one of the things that we hope to bring to them, leveraging our expertise in pharma and also leveraging the health systems around Barcelona. There are a lot of leading hospitals within Europe that are offering to let us use them as test beds. So that's a great offer too for the startups who are joining our accelerator or the Barcelona Health Hub as well.
Well, exciting stuff ahead. We'll have to keep our eye on you. Congratulations on your new role. We look forward to seeing what grows in this garden. Yes. And we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks so much, Francesca. It was a pleasure speaking with you. I'm Jessica DeMassa with WTF Health. Thanks for joining us.